Volkswagen 2-liter 8-valve motor made into a Volkswagen 1.8 turbo transmission with a Nissan RB26 turbo on the back of it, sitting in a Honda EK engine bay. So we're all over the place at this point. Today's episode, we're going to talk about how this wound up in here. So in order to get the Volkswagen motor mount to fit in this area right here, I do have to cut it out. It's going to sit right about there when it's bolted up, and it's going to sit on that frame rail. But I do have to cut it out there, which obviously will carry over on the other side of the fender well. I have checked clearances, we should be good. If not, I do have the ability to trim it back a little bit, and then I'm going to put a plate that makes this all look a lot cleaner, so it's not just a hole with a tire on the other side of it if you're looking at the engine bay. Well, that part's done. Cut this hole out, so now we can fit the motor mount right on this frame rail. I'm going to make a plate that this bolts to, that then is going to bolt onto the frame of the Honda. And again, I'm going to make a little plate on this side to kind of clean this up so it's not just a hole. But yeah, it will extend to the fender well area a little bit, but I think we're good. But we're now actually setting to actually put it in and figuring out how to actually bolt it up. It is going to have to be justified kind of far over. It's going to have a much larger gap on this side than there is on this side. But one of the primary concerns is I will have to notch the subframe a little bit to let this transmission sit just a little bit further back to bring the axles more in line with the transmission. It's close. They're not going to be where they should be. They're probably going to be facing about an inch or two forward even when I have this mounted the way I want it. But yeah, I'll have to add structure to that, plus I am limited in how far I can go back by the steering rack itself. I could possibly space it down, maybe it looks like, but we'll come to that later. For right now, I gotta get the subframe notched so the transmission can sit a little bit further back than it would normally to help center these axles. Other than that, I got a different flange coming on the way that should solve the problem with my turbo. It's just kind of sitting there, so I have an idea where it would sit if it was attached. space back here, but not that much down here. The fun part about this build is doing this over and over again to figure out how to actually get this thing in here and hold it up. We'll probably do this about 10 times. Safety first. Eurobeat, always playing in this garage. Now we got the notch cut out. I'm hoping it'll be enough. I'm gonna have to add metal to this at some point because frankly this subframe is incredibly weak in this position. Most people wouldn't care, but I do. I can't leave it like this. I'm gonna have to either add braces on the bottom or just somehow maybe just plate the ends of these or some way, shape, or form. I gotta reinforce the subframe because it's way too weak. The control arm sits right there. It's got nothing to really bolt into anymore. So, but yeah, for now we're seeing making sure the engine fits in here. I'll deal with that later. Now, at long last, it is about time to finally weld the first motor mount in. This motor mount will determine the placement of the other motor mounts. This, as an asterisk to my last video, what I had shown was a 2-liter motor mount. This is a VR motor mount, and this is what I needed to center the engine. Again, the 2.0 sat like back here. By using a VR, I'm able to push the engine up forward, get enough clearance for my turbo, and as well as the transmission, which I had to notch back here. I'm going to have to move it over just slightly or trim that just a little bit more. I'm pretty much at my limit because the steering rack is attached to that bolt. But it should work. Yeah, this is a beat turbo kind I'm using for test fitting. It's jumbled together. I will have to flip this up like this because it just won't work the other way. Even if I was able to plumb it, the turbo return line basically points directly at the subframe. So either I cut a fat hole in that subframe or I flip it around the other way. I'll have to move the ABS pump back down, which is kind of annoying. It was probably perfect where it was, but whatever. And then we're probably going to have to run the intake out of this hole and loop it almost immediately, send it back over here for the mass airflow sensor. But everything should work. Pipe comes up over there. It is kind of a tight fit on the exhaust flange. Again, particularly getting past the axles, it's going to be a tight fit. I probably can't use 3-inch because I just don't have the space for it. It's probably going to have to be like 2 1/4, 2 1/2 at best. I might even have to run like basically 2 1/4, even 2 until I get past the transmission. Once I'm past the transmission, yeah, we're good to go, but I don't see me being able to run a 3-inch past the subframe and past the axle. I just don't have the space. But we'll get it working. We'll get it working. I've come this far. We got the motor mount welded in on the passenger side. That sets the stage to let me make the driver's side one. I had to grind this down. We're just make a flat plate up to this. What this even was? It was like an engine harness. Yeah, it was a harness loop to bolt a harness through. It should be strong enough. It's like, I don't even know how thick that is, but that should hold. But yeah, we're working on making this motor mount for this, and then we will figure out, once I'm done this, we can figure out exact what tilt I need on this using my torque mount that I'll have to make from scratch. I can't use the Volkswagen one because the place was just weird, so I have to make a custom one for the torque mount as well. If you ain't grinding and welding, it ain't custom. Well, the batteries just died in my welding helmet, so we making do. Important part of this build is actually getting the motor in the car, not to the point where it is bottoming out in the subframe, but also not to the point where I need to run some sort of custom hood scoop or something. So this should just fit. I'll have to relocate that vacuum line or delete it or something, though from experience these cars don't run with that vacuum line off. But I mean, for the most part it should fit with the hood closed. I can't put it too low. I'd argue this motor is a little bit taller than the Volkswagen one. So on the bottom, it comes down pretty far. I don't want to be bottoming out everywhere. And it's cool to some people, but not to me. Alright, well, we're removing this core support brace from the front. No longer does anything anyway. The hood latch is broken, so removing it out so I can get the Volkswagen radiator in here. It should fit, but not with this guy in the way, so that's gotta go. Getting ready to bolt the motor in for the first time, like actually bolt it in. I got all my motor mount, well, just have the torque mount set up, but I gotta figure out the radiator before I do all this, before I get in its final position. The Honda radiator is like literally about this big. It's like barely larger than like a sheet of printer paper, whereas the Volkswagen radiator is this big. So what I'm gonna have to do is put the radiator in front of the core support and then trim the fans down. Stock fans, which are pretty important. Probably trim the bottom, maybe trim the top, and then sit it flush like this. Hopefully I'll have just enough room to squeeze the motor in there. get this thing bolted in for the first time. My God, this has been a long process. At the moment of truth, we are releasing the engine noise. Look at that. That is a bolted in motor. Next step is custom making a torque mount that is going to tilt it about there. As it hangs, the transmission hits the subframe. We got to push it forward. It's about 2 inches, and we should be good. Before I go any further and finalize the position of this engine, I do have to make sure that these axles actually clear the subframe. I actually hate this part about Hondas. They put the axle through the control arms. Look at that. We are in business. I got the turbo fitted for test fitting. Like I said, against all odds, I think I can run a 3-inch downpipe. It'll be tight, but I think I can do it. I'll have to come out and go back around, but we'll see. I'm going to cut this hose short. It's just heater core stuff, which is no longer needed. Basically just, and done. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the turbo placement now. I did again have to flip it upside down. And after spending a long time moving the ABS pump up, I then had to move it back down. But it is what it is. Maybe a little bit more finagling, push it down just a little bit further, maybe move these out of the way just a little bit more, and then run the inlet up. Like I said, I'm probably going to double it back, send it over there so it can meet the mass airflow sensor, because it's kind of, I can't really do anything with this, plus I want the coolant bottle like here. So yeah, we're going to send it back over that way. But yeah, fitment's good, axles are in, motor is in the engine bay, the hoist is no longer holding it up right now. I just got to make a torque mount, my custom axles, and then begin wiring it and see if she'll fire up. I'm pretty sure that the Volkswagen motor is a little bit taller than the Honda one was, so one of my concerns was whether I'd be able to close the hood. Find a delicate balance between bottoming out everywhere or needing to run a custom hood. So I'll most likely have to remove this, but any luck, not actually that bad. Holy crap. Close. Decided just to get rid of this. We're going to replace it with like a thinner piece of pipe or something like this. But for now, I need this gone. It's just in my way across the board, everything I tried to do. So. Cut this in such a way that it should slide in once it's done getting stuck on every hose it can possibly find. And then that rests like there. And this guy over here. And I'm either going to drill a hole or honestly just zip tie it to the holes that are already right there and call it a day. I've done enough body work already. It's not that serious, just a radiator fan. If your car doesn't have a single zip tie on it, can you really call yourself a car person?